Welcome back to New Day Northwest. You know, more than a year ago, the American Academy of Pediatrics made a declaration. There's a national emergency in regards to the mental health of American children and adolescents. And the situation, it's not really getting better. Locally, I've personally heard reports from parents waiting months to get their kids seen by a therapist or a psychologist. There just aren't enough clinicians to go around. So where do you go when the experts are unavailable? I've invited parenting coach Beaven Walters to share some things we can do to help and monitor our kids at home. Now, Beaven, I know you've witnessed a lot of parents dealing with this. Let's get a reality check of where we are right now.
I mean, the reality is that we still are seeing declines in the mental health of our youth in this country. There has been some progress made since the declaration of the state of emergency. There's been some legislation. There's been the introduction of the emergency number for mental health crises. There are more people supporting mental health of children in schools, but we've got a long way to go. There are, as you mentioned, 80% of states are mentioning that there are not enough mental health professionals to serve the kids, and we're seeing increased decline in certain populations, in particular Black boys, girls under the age of 12, and now for Asian American youth, suicide is the leading cause of death. So we've got a long way to go to really make a huge impact on the emotional health of our kids.
You say this is baby. I mean, I have the chills, and these are babies. These are our babies, and as a parent, I wonder, how can parents help support their child's emotional health and well-being at home, maybe before it becomes a crisis, or then intervene when there are concerns, but maybe not at a crisis level yet?
I mean, parents are the most important piece of the puzzle. Therapists are great, but I mean, at best case scenario, you're going to be with a therapist one day a week for 50 minutes. What about all the other hours? It comes to the parents. So the ways you can support your children at home are by, first and foremost, making it possible and safe for your kids to return to their feelings. What we saw during the pandemic were a lot of kids that kind of are going kind of numb in this state of kind of a brain that's stressed out. We need our kids to return to their feelings and not avoid their feelings. So make space for the roller coaster ride of emotions that come with kids when they're expressing their emotions. Make yourself ready to receive that and support that, so your children are not walking around trying to avoid their feelings by turning to their screens to numb out, or more concerning things like self-harm or drugs and alcohol. If your kids are really stuck and not accessing their vulnerable emotions, you can kind of get in through the side door entrance, watch sad movies, read books that kind of evoke emotions, help your children return to their feelings.
That's a really great point, especially that screen time. I didn't realize that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to numb themselves. How do we decide when it's time to reach out for professional help, Beaven?
Well, when it's time to reach out to a professional help is when you're seeing your child have impact having to do with their emotional health that is, you know, you're seeing it at home, you're seeing it at school, they're avoiding activities. But you also want to take a look at the overall health of the family and look at, you know, is it time to do kind of like an audit of your family's lifestyle. Busy, stressed out adults are raising busy, stressed out kids. If your kids seem to be stressed out, it might be time to look at your overall family's balance and work in some more downtime. Prioritize that family mealtime, prioritize play, time when everybody's not so stressed out. Maybe seek support to make this happen on the adult level and the child level. And again, I mentioned screens. It's really important to look at the relationship your kids have with their screens. Are they using it as a way to numb themselves? If they are, that's cause for concern. You can try at home first to kind of set up some strategies to decrease the amount of screen time your kids have. Kind of have some real clear structures. Take a break on the amount of time your kids have. That can really improve. If that still doesn't seem to be enough, those different interventions I have mentioned, look beyond the most traditional cognitive behavioral therapy modalities in terms of therapy. There's also play therapy, music therapy, art therapy. Look at hiring a parent coach that can support parents in supporting their children. Many have niche specializations in things like supporting parents who have kids who struggle with anxiety, intense emotions, things of that nature. You also can look at other therapies that can be of support, like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. You can look at neurofeedback, biofeedback, all things that can support emotional health and being of children if you can't find the professionals
because
available.
It really is up to the parents, because I know for a fact if it weren't for our PTA at our school, we wouldn't have a mental health counselor. We wouldn't have, I mean, when I grew up, there were school counselors.
Yeah.
That's not a thing anymore. If your school can't afford it, you don't have a counselor.
Absolutely.
So I think having the parenting coach behind the parent is such an important thing. I want to ask you really quickly again, because this is the one thing I hear from friends. I can't get my kids to talk. Is that when maybe watching the sad movies and the books can help? What are some other tips?
That can really help. I think it's also a matter of timing. A lot of times parents are like on their kids the second they see them at the end of the day. And the kid might just need a chance just to kind of like chill out. They may be carrying around a lot of stress, a lot of big emotions from their day away at school. And immediately we start peppering them with like, what did you do at school today? What kind of homework do you have? What do you have to get done today?
Right.
And like, God, my kid doesn't want to talk. Well, it might be because you're attacking them.
Yeah.
And grilling them. So give your children some time, some space, and nothing brings kids to the table faster than a plate of yummy food.
Oh, yes.
Invite them to the table. Oh, I made you a yummy snack. Sit down and just start talking about things that are maybe not quite so intense.
Yeah.
Chit chat, and then they might open up if you don't really attack them right as soon as they come in the front door.
No, that's really good advice. You told me when we did this interview today, you really wanted to get one important thing out there, and that's this emergency resource. And I know I have a full screen here. This was just released last summer, right?
Yeah, it actually came after this emergency was declared. It's actually one of the positive steps forward, so that when there is a crisis, an emergency, you can use the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It will still bring you a first responder, but the person on the phone and the first responder will be coming specifically to address a mental health crisis, so that you're not kind of dealing with other 911 related calls having to do with maybe physical injuries.
Right. And people maybe think that they can't call for help, and if you are in that worst place right then in that moment, call. This is what they're designed to do. Write it all over your house. Put it everywhere. Tell it to your kids. Share this number because it really is saving lives. Beaven, thank you so much for all the advice you always give. I know this was a heavy topic. I can't wait to talk to you more about something simple as homework. You've got a great strategy for that. All right.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Well,